Another thing that can work really well, I've seen in these scenarios, is sometimes you've taken in so much information. Like as women, we had this very big peripheral focus of our environment, like back from hunter-gatherer days, right? So we're constantly taking in modern day, the child crying, our needs of another kid, what's happening with the painter who's supposed to come in and repaint our house, what's going on with the trash that needs to take out, when dinner's going to be there, what deadlines do we have at work, and what school things do we need to do for our children, on and on and on and on. And all those things go on at one time, and it just fills us with so much information. So another thing that can sometimes help is either having like a journal where you just dump it all out, right? You're literally dumping the trash out of your head. I was sick of this, and then this happened, and I'm overwhelmed, and yada yada. You can sometimes find that you can ask a partner for this, right? Oftentimes the masculine, the men are very, very oftentimes very happy to help with this. But what happens is it's so helpful to orient men to letting them know what we want. I got this from Allison Armstrong. You'll hear me refer to her throughout my content. I'm always recommending her work. So this was another thing I got from her that I've seen work so well in relationship, is asking a man to basically telling a man hey, I just have a lot that I just have to get off my chest. Can you just basically listen to me for 10 minutes? Let me vent about all this. And I don't need advice, right? Because so often the way the male brain is oriented is to basically look for the point. And oftentimes if we're venting about something, they think the point is that we need help solving a problem. And oftentimes it's we don't need help solving the problem. We don't even want to talk about the problem. We just want to get it all out. So that can sometimes help if you're too tired, and if you feel you're not on the same standpoint as a partner. Another thing, though, if you're I'm not in the same, my partner wants sex more than me, what do I do? Another consideration here is a third kind of creative scenario. So oftentimes we are not motivated to have sex when we're tired and our partner's really interested, either because we're not having the right type of sex, we're not getting super turned on, we're not feeling like it's super enjoyable, we're not having an orgasm, all of those kind of things. And this can be oftentimes talked about. So sometimes let's say you're fine having sex twice a month and your partner wants to have it 5 times a week. What do we do? Right? So some people will say, okay, we'll meet in the middle. Everybody gets to have sex 1 to 2 times a week, right? You can certainly do that, but in scenarios like that, it kind of feels like everybody loses instead of everybody wins, right? So in trying to figure out situations, what are the situations where everybody could actually win? So one idea here is to say, what types of things, what are you trying to get out of the sexual experience? What are, is it the orgasm? Is it the release? Is it the connection? And begin to ask the questions around okay, why is, twice a month good enough for one person? Why is 5 times a week good enough for another person? And by those questions, what are we trying to get at the base of? We're trying to get at the base of the driver. What is sex actually serving? Is it helping with focus? Is it helping with release? Is it helping with mood? Is it helping with, closeness? And then to say, okay, well, now that we understand the purpose and the focus, let's say the focus for women and what a woman gets out of it is just a sense of connection and being loved, right? That's the driver. Let's say for man, it's the ability to have this release so that they can be more focused, right? There's a lot of different things that could come from these answers, but let's just take those. So an example then of how this could play out is, okay, well, if we want connection and love and we want, kind of the sexual release, right? These are the 2 major things we're trying to accomplish, male and female. What ways can we actually be motivated to get those needs met in ways besides sex? Can we do that in certain times? Can we do that by cuddling? Can we do that by oral sex? Can we do that by playing with a vibrator? Can we do that by, there's a lot of different things we can say. So maybe we can find a way where it's okay, there's more intimacy, but intimacy is happening in these various ways so that everybody gets their needs met. And we meet closer in the middle to the frequency, but we meet in the middle, not by being like, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to basically meet in the middle. We meet in the middle by, hey, we're going to both accomplish our needs of what this is trying to do for us and provide for us. We're going to basically both get our needs met, but we're going to do it in a way that's different so that our needs actually truly get met. Because oftentimes if you're not being motivated to have sex, and your partner does, it might be that the way that you guys are going about sex, that what it's providing for you isn't in itself innately motivating. Like if you want connection and the way you go through sex is like leaving you feel disconnected, well, it's probably not very motivating. So then we have to unpack that and say, all right, well, how can I begin to have, what types of things make me feel connected during sex? Like what would I need to have happen in the intimate experience? Do I need more touch? Do I need more cuddling? Do I need a different position? Do I need clitoral stimulation, right? What is it? And when we start to have those kind of conversations, then it typically feels like, hey, now we have a solution that both people win instead of both people compromise. So I hope that's been super helpful. I talk about this and so many more things in my monthly libido and anti-aging programs. Those are exclusively for women. You can find that in the show notes below. And we're really focused on helping you maximize your aging process, especially through midlife, so that you can go through transitions of menopause and all the anti-aging juiciness and yumminess really as the best time of your life so far. I'll see you in another video.